be a very delightful and exciting session where we're all going to get ready today with Garima Bhandari, who is a yoga and image expert and one of the 100 most influential women. Of course, we've had her here earlier as well, where she was doing yoga for us and we were doing yoga with her. And today we are going to be doing our makeup with her. She's going to be teaching us how to do our festive makeup look right in time for Karwa Chauth and the upcoming festival season with Diwali, Bhai Dooj, and all that exciting time. But before I introduce her properly, let me say a few words about Sipping Thoughts. Sipping Thoughts is a multi-platform media company founded by my good friends Meeta Gutgutia and Sukirti Gupta. It was set up keeping in mind the tagline, Real Women, Real Thoughts. We are a no judgment platform and we want to create a network of women for women. Sipping Thoughts is found on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and of course on our website by the same name as well. About our expert, Garima is an internationally coveted public figure, an Ashtang yoga practitioner and evangelist, a certified corporate image expert, and a wellness and lifestyle mentor. She has recently served on a panel of experts for the Ministry of Ayush in their first ever Digital Yoga Conclave 2020 to understand the way forward for yoga. She has also been awarded the 100 most influential women in the world and Young Women Achiever Entrepreneur Award on different forums. She is a guest speaker and panelist across various media houses and publications like India Today, Aaj Tak, Fit Tak, Network 18, NewsX, Cosmopolitan, Grazia, Femina, Pioneer, to name a few, which are of course a lot many. And before we begin on this very interesting and exciting session for all of us, a few do's and don'ts. You're all going to be on mute, but please do keep chatting with us and putting in your thoughts and questions to keep this session as interactive as possible. We're going to, unmute you as and when possible to be able to ask your own questions. Also, please do excuse any technical glitches because, as you know, those are well beyond our control at times. Also, do keep your questions very relevant and to the point. And with that, let's just get started. Welcome, Garima. How have you been?
Thank you for having me, Sipping Thoughts. Thank you, Tina, for such a wonderful, beautiful introduction. I'm so excited for today's live.
I'm absolutely excited to have you back, and this is something which is right up my alley, to learn makeup from you. So exciting indeed.
Thank you so much.
So what do you have lined up for us, Garima? Considering that tomorrow is Karwa Chauth, I'm really excited to learn what you are going to be teaching us today.
So today I thought that I'll keep it very, very basic, the traditional Karwa Chauth look, which is, whenever I'm doing makeup, I always have all the mothers and women in my mind who, they do everything else. And when they dress up and all, they really want to do it in a jiffy. They don't have extended time of an hour or 2 hours to really sit and do that elaborate look. So even a glamorous look can be achieved with minimal products and minimal time. So that is what I'm trying to do today. Let's see if we can do it.
That sounds fantastic, considering we're all kind of hungry on that day. So minimal products and glamour sounds fantastic. Let's get started.
Right. All right. Thank you, Tina. So the first thing that we all must ensure whenever we have a special occasion, whether it's a birthday or Karwa Chauth, or you just want to look fabulous and you have a lot of dress up to do, it's always important to also dress up your skin, which means that you're trying to prepare your skin for the makeup, which is very, very important step. And if you miss out on this step, you're not going to have your makeup stay for very long. It's going to get cakey. Everything is going to start bleeding with your sweat and all, and then it's not going to look nice. So to not have that disaster, you must first prep your skin. So the first step to prep your skin is exfoliate it well in the morning itself, so that if you have any kind of redness or it gives you a downtime. For Karwa Chauth also, you're trying to dress up in the evening, so if you exfoliate in the morning, you won't have any kind of redness or swelling on your face. Best is at home exfoliation. If you can use products from your kitchen, nothing like it. Otherwise, try to use an exfoliator which is very, very, it should not be very thick and rough on your skin. Small granules and soft exfoliation is what you require. And after the exfoliation, it is must, because your pores get open, so it is must that you apply a very good toner. In my case, I've already prepped my skin. I exfoliated in the morning in gentle circular motions, and never neglect your neck, because neck is part of your face, and neck is the first area where women tend to have aging, signs of aging first. So always keep neck as part of your face. Whatever goes to your face always goes to your neck too. It's like the thumb rule. So this is the I have used Innisfree toner for my face. I somehow like their products a lot, because they are aqua based. They don't have any residue on the skin. The minute you apply them, it looks like everything evaporates. But again, it's skin to skin. It's very important to understand what your skin type. If you have dry skin, if you have combination skin, if you have oily skin, so choose products wisely according to your own skin type. That's very important. So once you have exfoliated, you have to tone your face. It's a must. And after that, you let the toner set in on your face. The most natural toner can also be rose water. It's excellent. And after toning, you immediately apply a gentle moisturizer. I use a Cetaphil moisturizing lotion on my face, which is very, very gentle and has no chemicals or fragrance. I mean, it's dermatologically tested, so it suits my skin type. And followed by that, I apply once again the Innisfree day serum. This is also again like very, very nice on the skin. It has no residue, it's not oily. And the days where I feel that I have to do makeup and it has to stay long, I also apply an oil based serum on my face. This is by Core and Pure Magical Facial Oil Serum. Available online anywhere. You can pick up any serum that you like. So I have applied just 2 drops of it. I just apply it on the face, and then you just pat it and then blend it all over your face and your neck. Don't omit your neck ever. And after the serum is what do I apply? Yes, I apply my primer. Now, primer is a must. Like you paint your walls, you paint your furniture. Similarly, there also you apply a primer, because you want the paint to stick, you want the paint to stay and last long. So same concept applies to your face. When you are trying to apply the makeup, you want it to stay, you want it to look nice, you want it to look flawless and more youthful. So for that, you always apply. It kinds of conceals and camouflages your variations on the face. Sometimes we have enlarged pores, sometimes we have fine lines, sometimes we have some blemishes, and we want the makeup to stay longer. So for that, we always apply a primer. Now my skin is extremely dry type, so I apply an oil-based primer. This is the oil-based primer. But for people who want a neutral primer, this is one of my favorite primer. I don't know if you can see, it is the Benefit Pore Professional Pore Minimizer Primer. And this also apply very sparingly, just a dot of this, only where you feel that you have some pores on the nose and also on my eyelids. Applying the primer on your eyelids is the must, because they get the true color of your stay, because here we tend to sweat a lot, and all the hard work that you do to get that perfect eyeshadow is going to go away in no time if you've not primed it well. So that is the importance of a good primer. After priming, it's important that did I miss out on sunscreen? Sunscreen is a must. Right after your moisturizer. I also applied the Cetaphil SPF 50 sunscreen. You can choose any non-comedogenic sunscreen like Lush Shield. Bioderma has very good SPF 30 sunscreen that is suitable for all skin types. But sunscreen is a must. It's like the only elixir for your skin, which is going to safeguard you from the early signs of aging, I would say. So,
Garima, can I interrupt you here? So when you say non-comedogenic, what does that mean?
Okay, so when we have pores in our skin, and because of all the pollution, dirt, and grime around us, what happens is they slowly start to settle in the skin, and they go into the deeper layers of the skin, and they don't stay only on the outer layer. Now when they go deeper into the layer through your pores, they start collecting there, and they form comedones, which are superficially seen on your skin, but they are deep seated. Now, those comedones later, when not attended to, turn into acne. And that acne can get really severe and can leave dark marks, spots on your face. Those are also known as comedogenic acne. So comedones start because of the pores, the deposits and the dirt and the grime that starts collecting there. And we keep neglecting it because we can't really see it, but it's there. It's there in the deeper layers of the skin. So these days, the products, most of the even foundations, moisturizers, sunscreens, everything comes with non-comedogenic component, which unclogs your pores when you apply instead of getting deposited there. So that's what it means.
Okay. So, and another question that somebody would like to know is your primer similar to the Blue Benefit primer? Would you have any idea about that?
Yeah, the Blue Benefit primer is pretty much similar, but this one particularly I like because, it gives us the skin a very even tone, a very good texture, and specifically covers the pores. This particular one.
Could you mention the name again, Garima? Somebody wants to know the name of your primer.
As Pearl Primer Pore Professional by Benefit, and the other one is called the Photo Finish Primer Oil by Smashbox. So even if you don't have serum separately, you can just apply this because this is like a serum and primer both. It gives you that HD finish, especially for shoots and weddings and functions. This is very good.
Okay, great. All right. I think we've mentioned your skincare routine now. We could move on.
Yes. So after your skin is prepped, you actually wait for some time so that all the products settle. And after your primer, one more product before I start with the base and the foundation is this Glam Glow. What do you call this? It's called a Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. I apply it right under my foundation after all my skin prep is done. Why? Because I'm going to show you that it comes like this natural highlighting strobe effect. So if you apply it on your skin, it gives you this instant luminosity that you can see on my hand. Whereas you see the other area of the hand is not so shiny, but this one where I applied the product is like really shining. And so this is what it does, and it is so smooth, like my finger is slipping on my area where I applied. So this is very, very it really does what it says, the magical illuminating hydrating mega illuminant. It really does that work. It's available in Nykaa, so you guys can really totally try it out. It has really, ever since I've started using the makeup, my face really glows. Foundations are different types. Once again, you have to choose according to your skin type. I am going to be using this foundation called Smashbox Studio Skin Full Coverage 24-hour foundation. Now, this foundation is extremely good when you're traveling or on the go foundation. You can keep it in your purse also, easy to apply. And why I really like it is because it has very good coverage. It is not medium coverage, it's a full coverage and full long stay. It has stayed on my face for almost 12 hours also. I've done my yoga shoots in the morning, some fashion shoots in the evening, and live in till late in the night. It has still stayed. So this is really, really nice. Sometimes I'll blend this Huda Beauty foundation with this. So blending two colors and two textures kind of also give a very, very nice effect to the face. That's what I feel. But you can totally omit the step. So I apply it like this directly. If you're mixing the two foundations, then you can just take a foundation plate, and you can mix the two. So you must see that how sparingly I am applying the product. It's just, I'm not even squeezing whatever is there on the top. I'm just spreading that, very little squeeze, because less is always more when it comes to makeup. We don't want to cake up or fake up. We want to keep it natural. So it's always good to, I think I'm going to keep my mirror in front of me so that I can see myself.
So, Garima, between the prep of your skin and the foundation, you said, give a little time. So how much time is ideal according to you?
Just 2 minutes is also enough.
Okay.
The products have that much time. So I have applied some people like to spread this with their fingers. Some people like the sponge. If you're using the sponge, make sure it's, it's wet and you have squeezed out the water from this. But I have always liked the feel of brushes. So I'm going to be using a flat brush here. You can use a kabuki brush, or you can use a brush like this, which is excellent for spreading the foundation, and then blend it out. So I always start blending it out from under my eye area first, and always out. We're not going like haywire. We're just starting from one place and like towards the out, always towards the out. So I'm going this way.
So do the strokes matter, upwards or downwards?
Yes, because you really don't want to have wrinkles early on your skin or expression. So it's very, very important, even while applying any moisturizer or sunscreen, everything that we do with our hands, we have to always use upward strokes, like this, like this. Always, never like this. A lot do that like kids. So once you get into the habit, you will actually, one step that I really forgot in between, when you applied the serum or anything, you can actually use something like this, like a jade roller or a gua sha, to roll up your skin, and this kind of stimulates the blood circulation, so you have that flushed look on your face. You should do this every day, but if you do this before your makeup, like you just go like this all over your face, like this, even on your neck, it just the blood circulation is coming a lot more towards your face. It's rushing more towards your face, so you will have this youthfulness, a youthful glow, I should say, and it does what it says. So I absolutely love the feel
How
of it.
many minutes would you recommend with that jade roller?
30 seconds maybe, but you have to go like this, like really press it towards your face, not like gentle, but a little harder.
Okay.
So that's a good tip. Coming back to the blending, I also like to cover my lips when I'm applying the foundation. And before we go into the rest of the makeup, you can apply a moisturizing balm at this point of time after you have applied the foundation. Like this, I'll be doing that now. So that by the time you reach the lips, after your eyes and everything is done, your lips are well moisturized ahead and they don't get dry after applying the lip color. So blending is the key. Blending is where I spend the maximum time. Rest of the makeup I do sometimes in a jiffy, but blending has to be absolutely taking your maximum time, because you really don't want lines here or the foundation to be bleeding. So spend good time here. Check each and every area that the foundation is blended well. Yeah. So I don't personally apply concealer before my foundation, but if you feel that you have some kind of a dark patches around your nose, or in this area you have some, uneven skin tone, if so, you can go ahead and apply the concealer that you have only on those areas. Just dab it with the sponge and then apply the foundation on top. So for me, this foundation really works because you can see that, my face completely, any kind of pigmentation that I had near my eyes, it's all covered with this foundation. Coming to the concealer now for under eye area. Now for this, I really have a pro tip, I should say. I'm going to be applying it in dots here, all the way till the outer edge of the eye. I'm just doing 4 dots, blending it out with the sponge. Now, for the sponge also, please press the product to your skin. Do not go left-right motion. Pressing it to the skin is the key, like this. Once again, I only apply concealer under my eyes. I don't apply it anywhere else. So if you feel that you want it between your forehead or on your chin a little bit, you can go ahead. Wherever you feel the light falls the maximum, the areas we highlight, we can definitely apply concealer to. But I kind of avoid it because I feel that it makes the face look extremely white. So I like to keep it closer to the natural. So I omit that step, but it's fine to do so. So now what happens is I've applied the concealer, and usually what we do is now we're going to apply the setting powder. But there's one step in between this before you apply the setting powder. If you do that, so you're not going to have those lines that come right under your face. We see that after some time you start getting those lines, cracking lines here. So to avoid that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your setting spray. I'm taking my Smashbox setting spray, which I absolutely love. It's absolutely weightless and it also adds amazing glow to the face. So I'm going to be applying this on my sponge here. You can apply it on your brush, very little, just spray one squeeze is enough. And then right where you have applied the concealer, you just press this product here to set this before you apply the powder. So I'm going to be setting this with that. You can spray directly also under your eyes, but I like to do it this way so that the product stays for longer. Somehow with Beauty Blender, the thing is that product stays for longer. Great. So now that the base is done, the quick base, we're going to take any powder brush, and I'm taking my favorite setting powder. It's called the Banana Bread by Huda Beauty. There are many good powders which are available, so you can pick and choose. But for me, this really works because this does not tend to get oily, and it comes in this form where I can just dab my brush directly here, brush out the extra, and then you just go like everywhere on your face. I apply this setting powder also on top of my eyelid where I'm going to be doing my eye makeup. Some people like to do eye makeup after they've done the base. Before they've done the base, but I am different. So I like to first do
Even
the
I
base.
like to do it after my face.
Okay, after you've done.
Yes,
yeah,
pretty much like you.
Yeah, a lot of people tell me you do the opposite, but I'm like, I'm comfortable this way. Great. So now is the time I was saying that it's time you moisturize your lips. Don't forget this step because you're going to repent later that I could have, because the lipstick doesn't settle well. So any of the balm or collagen gloss that you feel deeply, intensively moisturizes your lips, just apply that. It helps. And that's about it.
I
Base
want
is,
to ask you something here, Garima.
yes.
This trick that you shared with us about the setting spray on your sponge to avoid the lines, that can be used on any other part of the face, say wherever you get deep lines, say your laugh lines or around the nose.
Oh,
It
yes.
would work there also.
Definitely, because for me I only get the crow's feet here. But if you feel that you have lines here and here is where your product accumulates, do the same trick here also. That's a very good observation.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So now I have moisturized my lips, my powder is done. I'm going to straight away get into my contouring, which gives a nice definition to face. So even if you feel that you are thin and your face has nice features, you still need to contour your face because you want to define areas where the light falls, or you want to highlight those areas where the light falls. So for that, you need to contour the areas which are darker on your face. So I'm taking this palette by Tarte. I really like this palette because it comes with three different shades powder contouring, and it also has highlight shades, it has eyeshadow shades. So it's perfect even for your travel. So what I do is I take this flat bed brush like this, or any contour brush that you have, doesn't really matter, just blending these two colors together. I don't like to go very dark on my contour, just these natural colors which are similar. And then let me give you one more pro tip on my contour, that if you contour here where you see the natural darkness on your skin, a lot of people contour from where they have this hairline starting here. So what happens is after some time, it brings down your face and you tend to look older if you drag your face down. The idea of doing makeup is to lift your facial features. So anything which drags it down, if you put the eyeliner drooping down, it's going to make it look dull and not so lifted. So if you want to make it lifted, well sculpted, you have to think of putting the products up. So I just go very closer to this cheekbone right here. You can feel it with your finger by tapping it here. Instead of the hollow, go for that bone. So that kind of lifts your face and stays there. Otherwise the product, if you apply it only here, then it reaches here in some time. So always go up in that bone here, both the sides. First apply the lines, make the lines with the product like this. I think I should do one side like what not to do, one side what you should to get to know the difference. Okay, and then with the same brush, first I'm just going to make the lines, then blend it later. Same brush, I'm just going to go closer to the point where I feel my brows are starting. So I go to that point like this, flat brush here, and from there I bring it down. So a lot of people start their nose contour from here, but I like to keep it little in touch with the eyebrows so that it gives a very natural contoured look instead of looking like you have taken an effort to contour. And remember that the minimal the gap between your nose here for the highlight, the sharper your nose is going to look. And the more gap, for example, if I do this much gap and do the other side contouring here, my nose is looking broader now. So the minute I minimize this gap like this, it's going to look like really sharper and very nice nose. I may say so.
You have a nice nose.
So once I reach the center part, I just like to blend out the product here, here in the hollows, following the natural shape of the nose here. And then don't worry if I look like an alien, but I'm going to blend it up.
I think that's the most scary part about makeup, contouring and highlighting. Because sometimes when you see people in broad daylight, they actually look like aliens.
Yeah, if you do a lot of day time, if you do a lot of, if you've done the cream contour also, and top of it you do contour of powder contour, and then you do bronzing for day, then it gets too much. So I think for daytime, powder contour is just as good. So here is where I'm trying to, this is the darker area of our forehead always. So I'm going to start from center where my partition of the hair is, and just following the natural hairline and just bringing it till the point where my eyebrows are ending, just like this. So you can see the difference that my face has a shape already coming instead of just a plain white face. We're just trying to add some depth and dimension by contouring. Cool. And now comes the blending. So either you can go with your fingers, like I do my nose a lot of times with my fingers. I think fingers really help to blend well. Or if you think you want a brush, you can take a flat base brush like this and simply quickly, I'll just tell you how I also contour my lips to make them appear a little bit bigger with the same contour. First, let's contour the jawline. So I'm once again mixing the two, and then on the side, I'm just starting the natural shape of my face. So first will be straight line. A lot of people just do like this, straight from where your face is ending. You have to first follow this line. You have to bring it down like this, down. And then you see the space here, which is an extra space. You just don't want it to show because that's what adds bulk to your face. You want to cut it. That's the idea of contouring, is to cut, to give cuts to your face. So you go over and above that line. You see, I'm not going underneath, ideally how people go underneath, but you want to cut that line and you want to cover it with your contour. So we'll be blending it out.
But Garima, tell me, what if somebody has a slightly heavier face? Then do they not go under the jawline?
This one will try to cut the flab which is there. That is why I said, because if you go under the jawline, you're trying to highlight the flab. So if you want to cut the flab, you want to actually go over it this way.
Okay. Okay.
But on my chin, because I want the chin shape to show and not cut it and minimize it. So here I'll never go over. Here I'll always go under because I want this to be highlighted. So here I'll go under. And then once again, I want to let this, this roundness here. Everybody has this. It's not straight. So I want this to go. So I'll go over this line like this instead of going under. Now for the lips, you can take a smaller flat bed brush like this, like a flat bed. And then you take either a darker color or the same color contour, blow away the extra product, and just on the edge of your lower lip from the outer, from this corner, you're going to start following the natural line of your lip, not under, natural line. Unless you have really thin lips. So in my case, I don't have very thin lips. So I'm going to go follow the natural line. But if you have very thin, then you can go under because you want to increase the area. So I go like this. Just like this. And similarly on the sides here. That's it.
So you're doing this right on your lip line, is it?
Yes, only on the lip line, not outer.
Okay. And for people who have thinner lips, will go under or over the lip line.
But you're never going to do on the cupid bow. Here is where we highlight, and not even in the center, just on the outer corners of the lips. That's it. So the contouring of the face is done. We just need to quickly blend it out to give it a natural finished look and not have any harsh line. The idea of a flawless makeup is always, always the art of blending. So I said in the start that spend maximum time blending your base, your contour, so that there is no harsh line in any area. And in the end, we'll do another touch of contour here, but right now it's all done. And we quickly go to our eyes now. So for eyes, I'm going to be starting with my eyebrow, which a lot of people ask me. So I thought I'll spend a little more time on the brows. So right now I'm taking it's broken, but I love this product. It's a drugstore product. It's by this brand called Deborah Milano Eyebrow Palette. And I have used so many eyebrow products, and this one is what I'm recently using, and I absolutely love it. Now, once again, my pro tip is to take a brush which is flat bed angular brush like this. But there are many styles of angular brushes which come. So spend time on your brow brush because it's very important. Take a brush which is thicker like this versus a brush which has, let me show you. Now this is also an angular brush, but you can see how thin it is in these starts. This is not a good brush for brows, but for concealer, etc., it can be good. But for brows, you want a little thicker so that it can give you an illusion of creating hair if you have sparse like me. So this one is to be avoided because this one, the minute you place it, it is so thin that it moves and it can deviate from the shape you're trying to create. So this is thick, so it does not move or slide without your direction. Now what you want to do is you want to dip this brush in water, clear water, like this, and have a tissue box handy and just press it into the tissue like this so that extra water is gone. But do not dry it out completely. So I'm taking this brown color goes very nice. Never do your brows black. That's very harsh, and that's unless you're doing Halloween. But so you don't want people to run away. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from the lower brow line first, from the center area. We never start from where the brow begins. We always start from 3/4 or center area in the lower brow line. So I'm going to be just following that line and extending wherever I feel that there are gaps and there are no hair, because you're trying to create an illusion of hair. You see, I do not have hair underneath, but that's where I created that line and the outline, I should say, because right now I'm just doing an outline, and then I'm just extending it with the natural brow line like this. So my lower outline I have got, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the top. So I'm going to start from somewhere from the 3/4 edge of the brow, like this. And we're going creating an outline and joining the two lines towards the end like this. And now is the time to fill the area. So I'm going to take one last dip in the product. You can see less is always more. So we're only doing very less product. And now I'm just filling in the remaining area like this by very gentle light strokes. Now, when it comes to the start of the brows, now here we are going to dip the product And here I'm not going to go this way. Here I want the hair to look natural. So I'm going to go on vertical strokes and create illusion of hair like this. So absolutely no product towards the start of your brows, just these kind of upward strokes here. And it's all done. So you can see there's so much difference between this side and this side. Sorry.
That happens to me all the time as well.
So now I'm dipping it again and patting it on the tissue, and then I go and do the same thing on the other side. So start from the lower brow, 3/4 area is where you start. You give an outline, follow the natural brow line like this. You're going to
We
do this.
lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was calling me, even if my phone is on airplane. So I'm just quickly filling this up because I've done the tutorial for the brow. So I'll just quickly fill it up.
You make it look so easy, Garima. It's actually quite a tough one to do your brows.
It is, but I think with practice, it's very easy for me now because I don't step out without my brows outside my bed. I don't know. I have this thing, go beach, wherever, my brow pencil always accompanies me. So I don't know
Which
if
brow pencil do you recommend besides this powder?
the Anastasia one is so good for travel, so good, so handy. Like you can do it even while driving.
Okay.
If it's important to do, and if you're stuck at a signal or in a traffic jam, you can just do it. It is so natural, especially to Indian skin tone. The shades are so natural, and the other end comes with that spoolie.
Spoolie, yeah. The
You
goof
just
proof one, is it?
goof proof one. I don't know. The goof proof colors are a little bit slaty and gray, but the
Okay.
Anastasia brow pencil one, the colors one are very closer to
Okay.
your eye color, your brow hair color. They're just like as good as not applying any product at all. They make it look natural. They're very good.
I'm going to try it.
Even the pomade, but pomade is cumbersome and
Yeah, very tough to use.
yeah, so that's why I switched to powders and pencils now. Great. So my brows are done. If you want me to show concealing of the brows, I'll quickly show what I do. I'll take this flat bed concealer brush again, and I'm going to take my same concealer which I used under my eyes. Just one dot of concealer in this brush. You can see I only use very less products for everything. You can see how much product, just this much. And then I'm going to go right under where I've drawn that line to accentuate that line. Now this step is very important and you have to do it also with precision. If you want, you can totally avoid it. But if you want your brows to look really sharper and very well done, don't omit this step. So it's optional. And with the same brush, you can just go on top like this and just follow the natural line. Now, once again, you spend a minute or two here so that whatever you've done, you don't want to ruin that. Any wrong stroke here and you can really ruin your brows in a second. So I don't know if you can see in the camera, but this one looks lifted and defined versus the one which I haven't done till now. So I'm going to be doing it on the other side also quickly, and then we go to the eyeshadow.
So Garima, Parul wants to know, that this step needs to be done after you've done your eyebrows, right? This can't be included when you do your foundation, concealer and all.
No, no, because you're
What
trying
you're
to,
doing with the concealer now.
yes, you have to highlight this brow bone. That's why you're doing this, and create a symmetrical look in your brows. And you're also trying to add space in your eyelid area by doing so, lifting your brow line here, because this is the area we'll be highlighting now once we put the eyeshadow. So you see, you got a lot of room here by doing this. You can take extra product if you like and go all the way on your eyelid.
And what product are you using, Garima, here? The
This is
concealer only?
Shape Tape Concealer. Make this your friend, everyone. It takes 10 years from your age whenever you're using this. This is in shade light medium, perfect for Indian skin. But you still have to, it comes in almost like 24 shades, so you can choose shade closer to your skin tone. Great. So now I'm coming to the eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is very, very simple and easy. What I'm going to do, I have this glitter eye foil cream highlighter or glitter or whatever you call it. I don't know. It's in the shade Faded. I ordered it from Nykaa. It's a metallic eyeshadow topper. So this is something that I really, really recommend buying. So we take any palette that you have. I'm taking the Huda Beauty new nude eyeshadow palette. Why I like it is because it has all neutral colors also, and it has all glam colors, metallic shade, and also glitter if you want to amplify your makeup and look more glam. So it has everything. Great. I'm taking a fluffy brush. Now, if people ask me that what is that one makeup brush that we must have, then this is the one, because with this one brush, you can actually perpetually do whole of your makeup. Which is the number? This is 217 by MAC. It is the best brush in the whole world. I don't know what I'll do if this brush was not there. So you take a neutral color, whichever color you like. I'm going to be taking here this color in Teddy. And I'm just contouring my eyes now because I want to create an create a shadow effect where I feel that wherever the area is darker on the outside of the eye, you always go with the darker color. And don't worry about the product falling. We're going to brush it out. And the other side, you can see just how minimal I'm applying the product. There's not too much makeup shadow on my brush. You see? Just just underneath where your brow bone is, and just above your crease line. You can see your crease line. Everybody can see their crease line. So you're going from outward to inward stroke here, and keep it blending because you don't want any harsh lines on your eyeshadow at all. Like that looks very, very tacky. Then you take another shade, which is a shade darker. So I took Teddy to contour and give some dimension to the eye. Now I'm taking the shade Raw. Oh, sorry, did I read? Yeah, taking the shade Raw. And right above where I applied that shade, I'm just going. Now with this shade, I'm going all the way till my crease to the inner corner of the eyes like this. Yeah. And that's it. We just take this glitter. There's nothing else we need to do. We just take this glitter, and you know, the area which I did not put the shadow on, here is where I'm going to be applying this glitter. That's it. And other side. And this is one look that you can actually do in a jiffy, as I said in the start. This is not time consuming makeup. So now you blend this with your fingers. Yeah.
Garima, which brand was this glitter from? Very interesting.
Yes, I'm going to just show it to you, the name and the brand, and keep blending, no harsh lines. And when this glitter product is still wet and you want some more drama to your face, then you just put the same hand on the glitter that is there in your palette, and some of the glitter comes like this, and you can just apply it here. This is what I do on special occasions only, like Karwa Chauth. Yeah, no more color. And then on the outside, after this is done, and if you feel that you still want to add some more of the darker color, then you only go on the outer end and just add like one single stroke here. Use fingers to blend. That's it. So Tina, you asked for the color. So this is called the Lottie London.
Okay.
The brand is Lottie London. It's a eye foil metallic eyeshadow topper in the shade Faded, and it's available in Nykaa app online.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, great. So now I'm taking this eyelash curler. It's very, very important that you use this. Before we go to that, you're going to make sure that you dust off all the extra shadow by using a clear, clean brush. Dust it off. It'll all fall off. And take this, and this is an important step if you don't wear eyelashes like me. So you have to curl your lashes, natural lashes, and don't just curl it once. Let it stay for a few seconds. And I like to press it like 3-4 times like this, so that you get that curl, and the lashes spread out and they look more voluminous. So staying here for a few seconds and then press, and you're done. Great. Now you take your mascara. I'm taking this Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. That's the name of this mascara. It gives an illusion of fuller lashes because it's extra volume mascara, but I'll still show you one hack that I use to make them look more bigger. So we go first with the first stroke like this. Lower lashes is a must. So by the time this round of mascara is drying, before I go with another helping of mascara, I'm going to take a kohl pencil. I urge you all to never ever use a black kohl pencil, because black is something that makes your eyes appear smaller, and it's very, very harsh and on the face whenever you use black on your face. So always go for dark brown shades or shades of brown that like this one. I have a very pretty shade. It comes with this brush to smudge your eyeliner from Color Bar. This is a very, very nice coppery shade that is there. This one is by Chambord in the shade 02. It's written here dark brown. This is also an excellent shade. There's another by Color Bar which is called the Cocoa Bar 02. So I'm just giving you all the options for brown eye pencils. Great. So then I'm going to be tight lining my lash line, not just the lower one, but the upper one also. So I'm going to drag with my ring finger. I drag my eye down like this, and I'm only putting the kohl pencil on the lash line, lower lash line to be precise, like this. And I'm going to drag it down once again, and then I go on the upper lash line. Similar thing on the other side and the upper lash line. Dark brown pencil also is a great way to highlight any of your moles which you have naturally on your face. In my case, I highlight this mole. It really looks nice. And after this is done, you take your, in the meantime, your mascara is dried up. So you're going to take your another mascara, which is a super fanned out mascara. Now, this is more voluminous than the previous one. So that is always a good thing to do. That first layer of the mascara is like a lightweight, but this one, the second coat, gives you that full perfect look of a, you see the difference between this one and this one? There's a lot of difference. So the times have gone like 4 coats of mascara, Tina.
I do the same, Garima.
Yeah.
3, 4.
Mascara has the power to make or break your makeup like completely. So
absolutely, especially if you don't use false eyelashes.
Yes, I don't use them. I mean, I would love to use them if I knew how to apply them. I mean, I have such a big fear. Even if I can apply, I have a fear. What if it's like half coming out in front of people and I'm talking to them? It'll be such a disaster. I don't apply only. It'll be so embarrassing. So, okay, great. Now, one step that I forgot is for my lower eyelid. I need to also use a color and give it some dimensions. I'm taking flatbed brush, whichever brush you want, you can take, to just gently apply a stroke of color to your under eye. Similar color. I look up and I just go on the lower eyelid, and that's it. You can see the difference. There's a lot of difference between this one. This is very important. So don't omit applying the color on the lower.
It just looks more complete suddenly.
Yeah, because otherwise it looks half done. Great. We're left with eyeliner. Eyeliner is a personal choice. If you prefer like a pot eyeliner, then you have to have that angular brush. But I'm going to be applying a liquid one. I think it's faster. It's more in a jiffy makeup hack. So this one I'm using is a Man Eater by Tarte. It's really, really black and really nice. Eyeliner is always good if you apply it black, like really blackest black, because that's what it looks nice. And starting with the innermost corner like this. Following a natural line, go as thick as you like, go as thin as you like. I like to keep it medium, not too thin, not too thick. Because if
Garima, somebody wants to know, is the lower eyelid eyeshadow color that we just used, is that okay for people with dark circles also to apply?
Yeah, you have concealed your eyes well, and I told you about that hack that you must do so that there are no lines. So this product will stick where you have applied. It will not bleed and run down. Otherwise, if you apply a darker color, then it comes to your lower this area. It gets more darker. So your eyes look more sunken. But the idea is that you must cover your dark circles very well. We all have dark circles, but we need to conceal it well. So now once I've come to the edge here, you don't want to leave your eyeliner here like this. You really want to create some drama. So you go from your lower lash line. I follow this line instead of going from the upside. I follow this line where my kohl is towards this end, and then I try to join this with the end point of my brows. So that's a very easy hack. Like that, just a single line, and then you take the topmost part of that line and just connect it to your rest of the remaining eyeliner.
Garima, could you suggest any lip balms as well, please?
Yes, the best lip balm in the whole world is the Avene lip balm. I'll show you right now. It has SPF, it has moisturizing, and I have tried so many lip balms. There was a time I was a lip balm hoarder, but ever since I've come across this one, it is the best. The next one that I really like is this Dior Lip Maximizer. Now, don't go by the name. It is just the name of this product. So a lot of people don't buy it thinking that it is a maximizing plumping product. But this product is infused with collagen. So the minute you apply it, you can feel that the skin on your lips is rebuilding. It's actually getting moisturized, and it feels like a baby skin after this. So if you can pick this up, this is excellent, or the Avene balm. Great. So we're going to do this on the other side also. You can see my eyeliner, extended eyeliner. Eyeliner is not a necessary step if you are doing this makeup on a Western outfit. But on an Indian outfit, I think eyeliner just completes the entire look. It's difficult for me to do this on the left side.
For all of us. And it's such a challenge to get two wings to match.
Yes, absolutely. So I keep looking at the other side when I'm drawing that wing. Yeah. But the tip is, I think, to extend that line towards your brows. But even if it doesn't match, it's fine. Great. So eyeliner is done. Entire of eye makeup is done, I feel. In the end, I like to just apply the kohl again, because when you're doing all this procedure, it tends to just get... you see that then it suddenly, pops up your eye after the makeup if you apply the kohl again, because it gets lost in translation when you're doing that. Okay, comes the blush part. So I have, I don't know which one to apply, but I like this blush actually here, which is I'm going to apply just a non-glossy blush. So taking my brush, which is by Morphe, it's a very nice brush because I've been using for many years. It's still not got spoiled and it's not harsh on my face. So I just took the product. This is by Kiko Milano. It is a blend of 3 colors. I absolutely love this. It's in the shade Fusion Trio Blush. So I take this and then dust the powder away, and then I smile and apply it on the topmost part of my cheeks like this. And I go over where I did the contour, exactly there. And that's it. Then comes your highlighter, very important. So first you take a smaller brush, or you can even take your fingers take your highlighter palette. Now for Karwa Chauth, I highly recommend something which is an extra dose of highlighter, just like this NYX Born to Glow. But for my everyday, I apply something else. But for festive fervor, we definitely need something which is more, it's going to give you more light. That's why highlight. Highlight is the favorite part of makeup for me. So I'm taking this brush and just going on the innermost part of my eye. Here you can see the instant lift. Just compare this eye with this eye. You can see the difference. This looks like I've just woken up. I'm fresh. This looks like pale and dull. So spot the difference. And then you go on the innermost part here, up and down, and now both of your eyes are awake. And then you do the same thing on your brow bone. You really want the brows to shine. A lot of people don't like to highlight this area, but I think it adds so much. You can see that how sharp my brows now look versus not highlighting it. So now you can revisit that point where we created this place with the concealer. So you have this place now to highlight. Great. I'm going on topmost part of my nose here and just spreading the product out. And then I'm leaving the center part here and just going on this indent here. And then I'm going to be taking a fanny brush like this. Just a single tap on the highlighter, no scrubbing, no rubbing, because you really want very less product. So now you see your bone here is where you will apply this in a very gentle stroke here. You see? Very little. And the same brush, you will apply it just on top of your brow bone here, because it comes very nice in pictures. I'm sure you all will take pictures with your husbands, boyfriends, I don't know, fiance. So it comes nice in the pictures if you apply the highlighter on topmost part of your cheekbones here and right above your brows here in the corner. And then blend, blend, blend. Just go a little bit on the chin. Squeeze this thing together, shoulders together here. And then you can just apply the highlighter.
Garima, what about the highlighters that you would recommend for daily use?
Daily use, go for anything which is natural and more of, not like this white kind. Then you want to go tones which are little muted. I'm using this currently from Inglot in this palette. I don't know, this is a little broken, but if you can see the shades that I use for day, these are more like towards beige and neutral colors. So the effect of this is something like this. It's very natural. I mean, it's just like,
okay.
So shades which are natural, more natural is what I recommend for the day. But if it is an occasion or an evening do, then definitely more dramatic. There's for day, I also like Mary Lou highlighter, which is very, very good. This is a palette. If you are a palette person, then opt for palettes which have all the colors from neutral shades to little dramatic dressy shades. It has a blusher, it has a contour, and it also has a highlighter which has a blushy effect. So this is also an excellent day highlighter for people. So this is like, you don't have to buy 10 different products. You buy one palette and you have everything inside it.
Which palette was that, Garima?
This is the Tarte palette. Beachfront, I think the name of the palette is called Beachfront.
Okay.
So of a pineapple.
Nice.
Okay, now comes the lips. So we already moisturized the lips. So I think it's a festive season, so we should go for something dramatic. I usually don't like to lip line my lips because I always like to contour. We did it previously, but I'll just show how you can really follow a natural line by taking you. It's not necessary to take, if you're going for red lip color, it's not necessary to take a red lip liner. You can always take a neutral lip liner like this for all the lip colors. I do that. So I'm just following the natural shape of my lips. Not even outlining, just giving it a little shape. A cue for the lip color. I think it's not even visible what I'm doing. Yeah, that's it. And then I'm going to just fill in the lip color directly. So I have my two of my favorite red colors here. One is the Ruby Woo from MAC, everybody's favorite. Then there is another color called the Russian Red. Now this is my current favorite because it's so intense. It's so intense. It's a mix of red meets crimson meets some tomato red. It is very, very nice and glam. So I'm just applying this. I'm bad at applying lipsticks, but that's how I apply. If you want, you can apply it with a... And then I always like to put a tissue paper on top because if you want the lipstick to stay for longer, you add another layer by doing this blotting technique. Then your lipstick will not bleed. It'll stay for long. And if after you eat and all, you don't have to check it that whether it's there or not. It will be there. You can actually do the same technique of concealing the lips if the darker color starts to bleed. But that's time taking, so I don't do it on the Jiffy. And another hack that I will give you guys is take your finger, if it is clean, just take it in between like this, your lips, and take it out. So all the extra product which was there, which was going to transfer on your lips and embarrass you later, is come on your finger. So, you know, it's very, very bad if the product comes on your teeth and somebody has to tell you that you have lipstick on your teeth. Happened to me earlier so many times. So this is the best way to avoid that. So my makeup is done. I'm going to quickly show you if you also have a question mark like me that what to do with your hair. So what you do is, before the makeup, you have to do the setting with the finishing spray, which is the Smashbox one I use. But before I go into my hair, I would like to tell you to always accentuate your contour after you've done the makeup, because otherwise your face will look very pale. So you take the same color here again, and you just go under your blush here. You see, now your face will suddenly appear so sculpted. You can see the difference. This is like plain and this is like lifted and sculpted. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah. You keep this setting spray at a distance of 6 inches away and spray liberally and let it dry. Create this fan effect with your, let it dry, air dry, I mean. Great. Now, what you want to do with your hair, you can just brush it out and make sure that there are no tangles in the hair. If you want to style it, you really want to make sure there are no tangles. Karwa Chauth makeup is not complete unless you apply a beautiful bindi. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah, now it looks more complete. Great. So what I'm doing is I'm just twisting. Once again, the hairstyle is in a jiffy hairstyle, but it looks like you've taken effort and time to do it. You're just folding your hair into a rope braid kind of a style. I mean, rope braid also takes effort. So this one is like, you're not taking any effort. You just, I'm sure you all can get the hang of this twisting. I'm going to show you from the back side now first, but you just want to secure it with this pin first. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So twisting. I know I'm a big fan of twists and ropes and braids. Somehow I think they look very feminine, elegant, and graceful, and they go with every outfit and every age group whatsoever. So securing it with the bobby pin.
And a lot of our audience agrees with you because we have a lot of comments saying how beautiful and gorgeous you're looking.
Oh, thank you. So the idea is to keep securing your hair properly. Otherwise, if it opens and loosens, that's where the problem is. I can't see at the back, so I'm going to be doing it. So now you want to take a rubber band, elastic rubber band, and you're going to tie only the, you can try, actually I don't have much hair, but those of you who have a lot of volume in the hair, you want to only go and tie the hair strands which are used for making those ropes, loosely tying them like this. And then you take the rest of the hair, blend them together. You can just comb out once like this. And then you want to start to fold your hair from the top like this. You see how I'm going? I'm just taking my index fingers in that bun and just rolling it like this with the help of then go make that. I don't know how to on the back, so please pardon me if it is not looking neat, but in a jiffy, this hairstyle is excellent. I have really done it many times for myself and it really works. All you have to do is just take your regular Juda pins like this, these U pins, and just keep clipping it. You see, with just two of the pins, it actually is secured and is in place. But for more safety, because I don't like to use a lot of back combing or a lot of hair spray on my hair, so I use a lot more. And then at this point, if you feel you want to loosen it up and give it some unkept look, you can do so. And always add a hair accessory. This is like this hair comb, which I really like. And I have many like this in many colors, glitters. They're easily available. And I think my hair is open from behind, I can see. So keep checking yourself in the mirror for any such
Oh, but messy buns are all the rage, Garima. It looks good.
Yes, it looks very well kept, put together look, you know, so that your hair is not in the place. I think hair can make or break. And then you just put this. I hope it's in the center. Guys, I can't see it.
It is.
So, yeah, this is
beautiful.
The hair. So now I'm going to be adding my traditional jewelry because no look is complete unless you're wearing your favorite jewelry. So whichever jewelry you feel works the best for you, please wear that.
While you do it, Garima, somebody would like to know any nude lipstick colors that you could suggest for our audience.
Yes, I have so many because most of the times I'm always wearing nude colors only. So I'm going to just all opt for colors which have a moisturizer to them, because you are going to eat a lot of your lipstick when you apply it on your lips, because that there is where that's a passage to your abdomen also. So when you're eating, you might as well eat what is right for you. And I'm going to be showing you. So here goes my jewelry, my bangles. Don't forget your perfume. You really want to smell nice.
I think you look just amazing. I'm definitely trying out this eye look tomorrow for sure.
Thank you so much. It's very effortless, and you saw that I just applied little eyeshadow and the glitter, and it really looks like I took so much effort to maybe create this look. So this is one color I really love, which is called the Low Key by Tarte Cosmetics. Whenever I applied it, it's with moisturizer, it's with SPF. Whenever I applied, and if I have chapped lips, even during winter, it heals. It's like a healing balm. And at the same time, it has this amazing nude color. It is matte, but if you want, you can apply your lip on top of it, lip gloss or balm or Vaseline. This another nude color from Kylie Cosmetics called the Commando, which is super nice, and once again very moisturizing. Another one on the budget is by Maybelline. I can't find it right now, but I do have that color. Yes, I can see it. It's kept next to my. I have a mix of all products. So this one by Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in shade Poet is an excellent nude color. This one is by this brand called Note. It is a nude lip color with lip gloss, with moisturizer. Even my daughter loves this. So amazing. You can use it to the gym because it just gives a little sheen to your face. There's another beautiful color by Huda Beauty, which I can't seem to.
I think that's quite a few, Garima.
Crush by Crush. This is like, yeah.
Okay. So I think we've all learned a lot. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And I'm definitely trying this look tomorrow for myself. Any last words that you would like to share with our audience before we end today's session?
Thank you so much for liking the session today. Thank you everyone for joining the session today. And I hope you guys try out this look. And don't forget to tag me on my Instagram, Garima Bhandari Official. If you try out this look, I would love to see it on you. And what I would say is happy Karwa Chauth fasting. And enjoy your day, feel pretty inside out. Make sure that you have a lot of positive affirmations about yourself each morning when you wake up, so that you manifest the same to others every day. And it's important that you take care of your skin before you, makeup is there. Sorry, I got a makeup is there to cover up all our variations and whatever flaws we feel we have on our skin. But it's always good to have a great lifestyle regime by hydrating ourselves a lot, by eating greens, by eating wholesome, nutritious food, fruits. So sleeping 6 to 7 hours, actually 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Is something where your skin feels well rested, and you also have less stress, because stress is equal to bad skin. So all these factors will help you in the long term.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us yet again, Garima. And here
I can't.
Showing so much. Am I audible now?
Hello.
Am I audible now, Garima?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was just thanking you and our audience for joining us and wishing you all a very good evening, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye for now.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sipping Thoughts, for this wonderful session. And everyone who wants to see my complete look, please hit me up on my Instagram, Garima Bhandari Official. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.